Le jour où je t'ai vu, le muguet embaumé, le muguet embaumé. Là-haut, loin dans les nues, tous les oiseaux chantaient, tous les oiseaux chantaient. Ta vie, tu m'as conté des larmes.
So, Malbec Duo, or also known as Duo Malbec Nebbiolo, said it is a Oriental spicy fragrance for men. It was launched in 2011, Parfumé Napoleon Bastos, and has as top notes lime, bergamot, violet leaf, lemon, fruity notes, and spices. Middle notes are rose, iris, geranium, notes of chocolate, cassis, and oak. Base, cedar, vetiver, patchouli, musk, amber, and moss. So let's see what this perfume has to offer. By the way, this is just a personal review. It's not an expert review, rather a user review. Whoa. It's a punch. A green punch. Something really green. It's a bit complicated. Citrus vibe. But it's good. It's starting to calm down. You'll see, I think that lime, lemon, bergamot, violet are quite present during this opening. And of course, the spices gives a little bit of warmth. But definitely, it is green. Definitely. Have no doubt about it. But again, from the beginning, you can feel the wood notes. I think it's the cedar, because it gives also a sort of a bit sweet, not very much, just slightly sweet. Vetiver, also musk. It has a very solid base. As you can see, I think this is something that is being conveyed by the perfume. It is solid. You see, here I am. So this is the sensation that I have of this opening. Something that says, here I am. 1, 2 sprays. Wow, it's like a Mike Tyson on you. It seems that its development will be very strong as well. It is interesting that Boticário also says that during the opening you will find a fig, plum, carambola, pink pepper, cardamomo, saffron. These spices can be found here. Now that it starts to settle down a little, I can definitely also feel the iris that gives perhaps a sort of powdery, not very strong, again, very slight powdery vibe. But the green is still there. Vetiver starts to grow here. The publicity that they made around this Malbec Duo is that it would be mysteriously powerful, naturally elegant. Now, of course, this bottle can convey this sort of thing. It is dark, you see, and it is elegant. It reminds of somebody using smoke. It is said by Boticário that this is the perfect fragrance for those that wants to provoke, to conquer, and to leave their mark. A identity of wood is shown, and again against a very balsamic background, seductive. It is true, this wood can be noticed since of the beginning, and I think that this is not something related only to MALBEC duo, but also throughout the MALBEC line. It is here present some fruity notes, some blossom of cassie and oak. The oak, yes, it is there. The bergamot, and something that gives a little bit of mint taste, although mint is not in their pyramid. Collectors might enjoy the fact that at least Boticário has stated that this is the first ever, as they say, ever produced perfume that wine alcohol is being used, that is made after the distillation of wines, grapes, two types of grapes that are the Nebbiolo and the MALBEC, all of them in oak barrels. Nebbiolo here plays a major role of balancing the intensity of the MALBEC grape with softness. Will I find wine on this fragrance? Yes, but slightly, not very strong. So, although I don't know, I have seen many reviews about, for example, pure malt. Okay? No, it's not that sort. It's very light. It's like a cloud around this perfume. I think that the perfume is built up in a way in which wine is placed to soften, to give little taste, but not really to make this an identity for wine. During the year 2003, according to my research, the founder of Boticário, Miguel Christer, upon visiting a wine producer from Chile, he understood that the universe of wine and perfumery would communicate very well. So he brought this idea back to Brazil, and then his staff, making a research, went there. They went to Mendoza, Argentina, and there they could recognize the quality of the MALBEC wine. So, right there, it was used a technology called headspace that is used to get the rich aromas that are found during the process of producing the wine. With this raw material, they also had an idea of buying oak barrels, French oak barrels, and bring these barrels towards his industry. So right there, they started to develop a way of extracting those aromas. And there, they made an adaptation for their factory and started a process of maceration, which he called maceration of wine alcohol. This inspiration of two words like MALBEC and Nebbiolo just came about a process that is called assemblage, that uses a mixture of different types of grapes in the production of a special wine. This served as the base for the use of those grapes, Malbec and Nebbiolo, for the creation of a very distinct fragrance with a very intense accord, fresh, like the cassis. That's why right in the opening, one would be fooled that you have such a freshness that could be mint, but no, I think it's the cassis, okay? And also the wood to reinforce that exclusivity of the fragrance towards the masculinity. And during this die down process, we come across when this perfume is overly, totally dry. Well, I had happened to make an experience these days, and after 24 hours, I still had this fragrance on me, and I could smell it around 3-4 centimeters. After 36 hours, it was almost like a skin scent. So, what I have is a fragrance of very good longevity, 10 hours or plus minimum. Take into account the fact that the base of this perfume is, you see, very solid. You have cedar, vetiver, patchouli, amber, musk, moss. So if one just happens to be with this perfume and says it does not last, there must be something wrong, because this perfume was built up to last. So what we have here is I would say, a classy perfume. There is no turning point on this perfume. Maybe you will find different ways of arriving to the same fragrance. I don't know. But the fact is that this is a very distinct one. And as to the Malbec duo, it really does combine two sorts of grapes. But please don't be fooled. At least me, I don't get wine on it, unless by a slight cloud, very light cloud over it. I think that the power on it is based on green, not that sort of grass, but the sort of a wood that is moist, and you see there is green on it. It's moist with green, perhaps as you were as if you were walking in a forest that is moist, and the oak is moist. Wood, those logs that are scattered around, oozes of something different, something green, something fresh. Now, again, don't be fooled thinking this is a summer fragrance. No, because it is too strong. If you apply 3 sprays, I think that you are overdoing. but 2 sprays, that's nice. As to the projection, I would say medium. It's not very high, but definitely if a person approaches you, this person will feel the aura. Yes, it will feel the aura. I think, as again, that one of the high marks of this perfume is related to longevity and is related to versatility. For that, this perfume, you can use it all year round, but its best is during winter. It is during nights. In a way, you could use it during summertime, but I don't think that's the case, unless you have a temperature that is not very high. Up to 15 degrees, I'd say. And also, in spite of having these qualities, it is for a serious person. It is young because it's fresh, but you know, this wood that goes from the bottom to the top, you see, it really says who's the boss. So I would recommend this fragrance for people 25 plus.